So continuation of the naming. So let's say we have something like this. Okay, let me put an attachment there. So let's say I have this. Remember, chlorine is in group 7, so it will have valency of 1, so the bond should be 1. So the number of valency will represent the number of bonds, so it's correct like that. So what should be the name of this structure now? First, number forward and backward: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the longest carbon continuous chain here is 5, and for 5 we have pent. So pent is 5, but because everything is a single bond, so that is pentane. Now you have halogens here because it's in group 7, and the halogen, this is chlorine, so that is chloro. Now what is the position of that chlorine here? If you number this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the position is on 5. But if you number backward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the position is on 1. So we are going to pick that one. So this is like saying 1 chloro, it's like saying 1 chloropentane, that is the position of chlorine there is 1. But 1 is invisible, we don't need to say 1, so you will just say chloropentane. So that means this is chloropentane, like that, because the position of that chlorine is 1. So but let's say this chlorine, let's say that chlorine now is not there. Let's say the chlorine is there. Let's say the chlorine is there. So what should be the name now? So as usual, the longest chain is pentane, and now I have halogen. So what position? If I number this way, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be on 4 carbon. But if it is this way, it will be 1, 2, 3. It will be on 2 carbon. So I'm picking this one, the closest number to the attachment. So this will be 2 chloropentane. That is, the position of the chlorine is on 2, that is chloro. So 2 chloropentane, like that. So if you want to draw your own, let's say you don't know this one, you want to draw your own. So 2 chloropentane, I already know pentane will be this, 5 carbons, pentane. So 2 chloro. So if I decide that I number my own this way, I can put the chlorine here, so it's still right, meaning it may not even be like this, because doing it this way, it means if I number like this, it's 2. So if I still do it like 1, 2, so I'll place the chlorine on 2 carbons, so that means I'll fill the rest. So I'll fill the rest. So this is 2 chloro. That is, if anybody should see this and try to name it, the person will still number forward and backward: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see, the number forward, the chlorine will be on 4 carbon. backward to be on 2, so the person will still say 2-chloropentane the same way. So let's say another one. Let's say I have something like this. So let me say I have Br there, Cl, Cl. Remember, all the halogens are in group 7, so they will have one valency, so their bonds will be 1. So it's correct with 1 bond. And hydrogen will be 1 bond too. Carbon will be 4. So each carbon here have 4 bonds. So this structure is correct. So how can I name this now? So to name this, we have seen it that the longest carbon here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also name it backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this. So forward and backward this way. So that means the longest continuous carbon chain there is 5. That is butane, because they are single bonds. So I have butane. Now there will be another rule here. You see you have 2 halogens there, chlorine and bromine. Now anytime you have the same halogens there, like more than 1 halogens, then you number it and you name it alphabetical order, meaning this B is bromo and this C is chloro. So B will come before C. So I'm mentioning bromo first before chloro, alphabetical order. So I have butane already, and I have bromo. I also have, so I have butane because I have it's pentane. It's 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the longest carbon chain. So I have pentane. So I have how many chlorine? 2 chlorine. 2 chlorine will be dichloro. And I also have bromo. So I'm just writing it to see how you can go about it. So 5 carbon is pentane because of single bond. You also have 2 chlorines, that is dichloro. You also have 1 bromine, that is bromo. Now what is now the position of the chlorine and the bromine? What is the position? So now I will I will start with bromo before chloro, alphabetical order. So the bromo is on 3 carbons. Do you know, if you number this way, you have 1, 2, 3. The bromine is on 3, but chlorine is on 4 and 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. The bromine is still on 3. The chlorine is 4 and 5. So I'm numbering this way. The number that is very close to the attachments. Yeah. So 1 is closer to the first attachment than if you go this way. You will count 1, 2 before you see attachment. But here is after first. And is on first carbon, you see. So I'm going this way. So go with the smallest number. So now I can't say 1, 2 first because I have to mention bromine before chlorine. So the position of that bromine here is 3. Remember, between number and alphabet you use dash. So that will be 3 bromo. 3 bromo. Then 1, 2. Then use dash again, because between letter and number I use dash. 1, between 2 numbers you use comma. So 1, 2, dash again, dichloro pentane. So that will be the name. That is 3 bromine is on 3 position. 1, 2, that is the first chlorine is on 1, the second chlorine is on 2. So we have 2 chlorine, that is dichloro. So the longest carbon is pentane, like that. So now let us assume I don't have this structure. I want to draw my own structure. So let's say I have this and I want to use this to draw my own structure. Now first, I'll first look at the pentane, meaning I have 5 carbons. 5 carbons. And I have 1, 2 dichloro. So I can start my own from here. 1, 2. So that means if my numbering is now like this, so that if anybody wants to name, if we number this way, it will be 1, 2. So 1, 2, and I have 3 bromo. That means the bromine is on 3 carbons. If I like, I can put it here. It's not necessary it's here, so it can also be here because it's on 3 carbons. So this is 3 bromo pentane. So I will now fill the other parts with hydrogen. So anybody that wants to name this now will surely number forward and backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the person will go this way with the smallest number. So it will still be 3 bromo, 1, 2 dichloro, pentane, because it's 5 carbons, as in like that. So that is how you can also go backward, forward and backward. So now let's say another one. So let's see another one. Let's say I have something like this. Let's say I have so okay. So now if you count the carbons, the bond, carbon have 4 bonds there, correct? But it's 3 here, so I can still have 1 hydrogen here if I like. So this is now 4 bonds. So that will be 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. So it's correct like that. There are 4 bonds here, is correct. Then 4 bonds here. That means this structure is correct, because the number of bonds for carbon must be 4. So and every carbon here has 4, so it's correct. So how can we name this compound now? So to name this, what is the longest carbon chain here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So also name it backward. 1, 2, 3, 4. So forward and backward we have 4. So and 4 carbon is both. 4 carbons is both. Now I have double bond. That is in. Remember, that is alkene, double bond. Triple bond is alkyne. So this is now butene. So if I say butene now, I need to specify the position of this in, this double bond. You will notice now the double bond is after the second carbon. So some will say 2 butene, but this is old way of naming. The correct way of naming, you say but 2 in, meaning that double bond is after 2 carbon. So it's this one that is modern way of naming, that is both, because I have both 4 carbon. So I know it's butene, but I have to state the position of that double bond before the in. That means the position is after 2 carbon, that is both 2 then in. So this is the correct name now, both 2 in. So, or butene. I can simply say butene also, because if I number forward like this, the uh, the the double bond is after two carbons. If I still number this way, if I still number backward this way, it's still after the second carbon. So that means it can still be butene in short. So or butene like that. Now let's say another one, then I'll continue in another video. So let's say we have something like this. So let's say I can't have anything there again. Let's say I have this. I can't have any hydrogen here. If you have hydrogen here, this is 3 4 5. Carbon will have 5 bonds. It's wrong. So you leave it like this, because carbon have 4 bonds here. 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 And it has 4 bonds here. So this is correct like this. So what is now the name of this structure now? So to name it, remember you number forward and backward 1 2 3 4 5. Also 1 2 3 4 5. So now the longest carbon there is pent. So this is pent. But remember, it's triple bond. So this will be pentyne normal. But I have to state the position of those yne. Remember, triple bond, the suffix is YNA. So that should be pentyne. So now, how can I state the position of the triple bond? So the number will come to place. So we start with the lowest number. So if you number this way, this is 1 2. I have the yne after 2 carbons. If I start this way, is 1. Is after 1 carbon. I have it here. So I will go with this numbering, the one that is very close to the yne first. So that means I have 1 after 1 pent, as in 1 yne after 1, 2, and another one after 3. So that means there is 1 yne after 1 and another one after 3. So this is pent 1 3. So how many of this yne now? I have 2. That is di-yne. Remember, 2 is di, 3 is tri, 4 is tetra, as in like that. So that's how we go. So now the name of this compound is now pent 1 3 di-yne. Now let's say I don't have this structure and I want to draw my own. So pent 1 3 di-yne. So for me to say pent, I know it's 5 carbons. That's pent. Now 1 3 di-yne. I know yne is 3 and is triple bond, because that is alkyne because of the yne. Now what is now the position of those bonds? I have 1 3, meaning 1 is after first carbon, if I name this way, 2 3, and another one is after 3 carbon. So that means I've stated the position of the yne now, 1 3 di-yne, because I have 2 of it here. Now I have to fill the rest with carbon, but remember, carbon must have 4 bonds. So I can only put 1 hydrogen here, because this is now 4 bonds. This is number 1, so not a shame. So now this is 4 bonds for carbon, correct? This is another 4 bonds for carbon. Another 4 bonds for carbon, 3 plus 1. So another 4 bonds, 3 plus 1. So but carbon here is just 1, so I need 3 more to add. So this is pent 1 3 di-yne, because 1 yne is after 1, another one is after 3. So that is how you can also go backward, so like that. So now in another video I'll continue there. So let me stop there.